Hey there, everybody. This is the Bones and Tub Show. We are brought to you by no one in particular, because advertisements suck.
Yeah, they do.
We are brought to you, however, by Catherine, Marie Doherty, Evelyn, and Agris Girl, our 3 patrons at patreon.com/Bones and Tubs. And we don't have, anything else. We're not trying to sell you a mattress. We're not trying to tell you anything about beard oil or...
No special food boxes or anything like that.
No.
We're brought to you, just like PBS, by viewers like you.
And this is the Bones and Tub Show.
The Bones and Tub Show.
And sets another day. Billions will kneel and pray. Anything to aid escape from the world so cold and gray.
That's good, boy.
And welcome back to another episode of Bones and Tubs. We're here for you again this week.
We're here. We're queer.
The last recording of November. It's starting to get a little chilly, especially in the studio.
Yeah.
I didn't bring the space heater in here today. I forgot.
I didn't bring a jacket.
Yeah, well,
should have. It's not cold, but my nipples are hard.
Live and learn. I'm sure that road soda will warm you up a little bit.
Well, Ice Mountain's been known to do that.
Yeah, those icy peaks. What's been going on here lately?
Well, everybody's getting that fucking seasonal, oil change.
Yeah,
as it were. Brother Elmo, I think it was last Monday, maybe the Monday before that. I saw him and he was talking about feeling like death. And then about 3 days later, I started to feel like death. The only difference is I'm willing to subject my body to torture. So I went to Kroger and bought a heavy ginger root. Mm-hmm. I threw half of it into a blender with some kale, cucumber, and I knocked it out. I did that 3 times, and that's it.
Yeah.
I just sound more like a raspy lesbian than normal.
Yeah.
But I feel fine.
Yeah, I actually caught the sickness as well. Apparently, if there was a plague, our podcast would probably no longer exist because we're both susceptible to the diseases of men.
Well, we also are pretty good at fighting it off.
Yeah. I mean, we live. I took some ginger as well. I took it intravenously.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made it burned so good. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
I got a word for the day.
What's that?
Just to go with the current media situation.
Okay.
Everybody's up in arms, about sexual harassment.
Yeah.
In North Korea.
Uh-huh.
I call it distraction.
Distraction?
It's distraction.
Well, yeah, I was talking to a couple people last night about that, the whole distraction thing, because apparently Kim Jong-un fired another intercontinental ballistic missile.
Yeah.
And everybody's freaking out about it.
Yeah.
He hasn't been doing this before. Why are we all freaking out about it?
They are putting buzzwords into the collective consciousness, though, that makes me believe that they're about to enact the Jericho-style false flag, where they bomb or EMP the United States and then blame it on another country, and then they nuke the shit out of North Korea and Iran.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that, quote-unquote, did it.
They're the ones that did it.
But they have to, because Bitcoin is now charging towards $11,000 coin. And all the other ones are jockeying into position. The only way that they can get rid of the crypto and maintain central bank control is to fry the internet.
Start over again.
It looks like there's a second sun up there. Why won't my phone work?
Yeah. Well, you gotta do is keep warm. Make sure you got some food in the house.
I bet they do it.
Yeah. Or if you don't have food, you best be ransacking the grocery store.
Rape and pillage.
Yeah. You just go full tilt. Full tilt barbarian.
You know what terrifies me?
What's that?
If it doesn't happen now, and it happens later in life when I'm one of us or, both of us are relying on some sort of medical device like a pacemaker.
Yeah, it's over with then.
Fuck that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm good on the whole EMP thing.
This shit needs to happen while I'm fucking of fighting age.
Ready? So you're not old and infirm?
I'm still able to adapt, overcome, and improvise.
It'll happen when you're on life support.
I guarantee it'll happen when I'm old enough to piss 8 times a night and I'm getting up because my prostate's the size of a grapefruit.
Well, the good thing you don't have to worry about when that happens is you could just go back to using chamber pots, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I always thought it was kind of archaic. Like, you know, my house, I don't have a bathroom upstairs.
There's a bathroom anywhere if you're brave enough.
Exactly. So at night when I have to use the bathroom, I have to go all the way downstairs, and I'm always afraid that's my death waiting for me.
Wooden stairs too, right? They're not carpeted.
No, they're wooden.
Yeah. The woodsman, when I lived with him, those were my fucking.
Oh yeah.
Those are my crutch.
When you're all like dreary and sleepy still, and
drunk,
you got to start manning those steps.
Yeah.
It's always a bad time.
I remember going and like doing yard work. I called off sick one day from the Factory of Sadness. And I had a bottle of vodka and a machete.
Nice.
And he had a severe overgrowth on the side of his garage. Like trees were cracking through concrete and all kinds of stuff.
Ooh, bad news.
But good news, I finished the bottle of vodka and I cleared out that path.
Oh, that's always good, isn't it?
But I fell down the stairs 3 times, going upstairs and downstairs, you know. But I mean, it's to be expected. Shout out to Mother Mary for her, I mean, what do you call that?
I don't even know what to call it. It looks like science.
Yeah, it's like a giant beaker sort of thing.
Is it a yard glass? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what she called it. A yard glass with stand. And
as a stand because its bottom is round.
Brother Tubbs is enjoying a road soda out of it.
Yeah.
We'll
delicious.
Post a picture of it on the Instagram next to that massive pile of cigarettes.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I should take another one with like a spit cup next to it. Just let them know the deep work that's going on in here.
This is what fuels the show, everybody. Science.
Can I bring up the crow thing now?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I want to make it the title, too, because it's getting a lot of traffics.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think we talked about it in our Flat Earth podcast episode.
Mm-hmm.
Don't remember the number, because I'm not good like that.
I'm not looking it up.
But there was a dude, a friend, on YouTube's. His channel was Crow777. And this dude had been recording, I think he had a channel since maybe 2011, 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And he had tens of thousands of hours of just recordings. And he was recording from like a really sweet telescopic setup.
Yeah.
And he recorded a lot of like strange UFO sort of things on the moon. And then I think on 2012 there was an eclipse and he filmed the moon, really zoomed in, and he saw the Lunar Wave, which he was the first one to ever record it. Since then, several other people have recorded it and all this, but it's basically just a line going across the moon, and then another one follows it, and it looks like a refresher rate. Now, he thought it was a problem with the camera, and a lot of people were arguing there was some sort of electromagnetic interference with the atmosphere, but he threw it through filters, like a negative filter, and he saw that it was only occurring on the moon.
Yeah.
So it's something on the moon.
Something on the moon.
And then when other people started to record it, everybody started paying attention, and it went all over the internet. Well, YouTube decided they were going to take his channel down. They deleted his channel.
You know what's funny is they still have videos on here of him being debunked.
Right.
So they took all of his stuff down.
Right.
But they left all the stuff about being debunked on here, which I find weird.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like YouTube, who claims impartiality,
right,
and refuses to take down videos of children's characters doing obscene things, will take down somebody's channel about a conspiracy theory about the lunar wave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All this being an illusion.
Yeah.
But you could still have your kiddie porn.
Yeah, right.
How long was House of Air on there for?
Oh, it was about 2 weeks. Yeah. It's a good song, though. I have that on my iPod.
Everybody should Google House of Air music video. I think it's on LiveLeak.
Yeah.
And watch that piece of shit.
I like the song, though. It's a good song.
See, the song is different than the video.
Like,
the video has nothing to do with the song.
Yeah, I actually like the song.
Okay.
I have it on my iPod. I listen to it on shuffle all the time.
Is that what you do when you're on the treadmill?
Oh, yeah. It's good. Got a good beat to it that makes you want to.
Do you ever have any weird flashes in your head of like a blowjob or maybe eating another man's shit?
No, see, I've separated myself. I went into my mind and I took the images from that music video and I separated it from the song so that I could enjoy the song.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So there's nothing left over.
Well, I mean, sometimes you think about it.
You have to. It's imprinted on my brain
forever. I mean, I almost ruined my phone over that video.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Threw in the dishwater.
Right in the dishwater. But
yeah, Google it. See what YouTube allows, and then maybe do a little research. You can still find the Lunar Wave video. Some of Crow's fans downloaded all of his videos in the past and then re-uploaded them once he got deleted. But
Nice.
just watch that fucking video and tell me what's really going on.
But I mean, like, I just don't understand why YouTube would take all of it down. Was he monetized?
I'm sure.
I only watched a couple of his videos, but there was nothing obscene in them either, was there?
No, he was. There was nothing controversial in any of his videos.
And no copyrighted material either, right?
All him.
Yeah. So, I mean, we both put stuff on YouTube, so we know the standards and practices of what YouTube is supposed to be about.
Right.
So can you explain?
So he didn't have any infringements either on his community guidelines rating.
Mm-hmm.
So he had everything was cool, and then they just deleted his channel. And YouTube gives you the quote unquote right to contest anything like that.
Yeah.
He contested it, and they told him to go pound a bag of dicks.
Why?
There's no progressive discipline there. And they cited the 2012 video of the Lunar Wave as being the reason why.
Let me ask you, because we didn't talk about it before the show, but for some reason it just came in my head when it came to this. You know, because it's a big thing right now, is getting rid of net neutrality.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, it was fine before without it, and any type of government intervention is never good. A lot of the arguments I've seen for it, they're saying like they're going to do all this crazy shit, you know, Comcast or Time Warner Cable or any of these people are going to just jack up the price of A, B, or C. Let me tell you how that works. If I represent Time Warner Cable, but if I represent a company that provides internet to somebody, and I'm like, oh, sweet, net neutrality's gone, now I'm going to jack up the price of fucking, you know, the price it costs to use bandwidth for porn.
Yeah.
Guess what's going to happen to me? Everyone's going to quit paying me for my service, and they're going to go to somebody else that doesn't jack up the price of porn.
Yeah.
Because that's what the market does.
Well, see, here's the thing, and this is the question I had. It seemed like it was a pick your poison thing. The pick government regulation or corporate regulation.
Right. Well, the corporate typically, but you know,
but the thing
will
is
be regulated by the people.
Yeah, as I say, with corporation, you have supply and demand.
They want that money. They're not going to do anything to fuck that up.
And here's the thing, as far as the government's concerned, the only thing they should have to say about it is the fact that, okay, here's the thing. Corporations legally aren't allowed to get together and decide certain regulations and stuff.
Right.
That's, like, against the law. They can't, like, decide, like, we're just going to split up who gets, you know, these people and these people and these people. They're supposed to be all in competition with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So by that logic, like you said, if one group decides, well, we're going to charge more for this, then another group would come in and say, we're not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have the government with their hands in it saying what can and can't be decided upon. You know what I mean? Like,
the government's really good at everything it does. It never messes anything up. So net neutrality should be fine.
I just figured I'd throw that in there real quick.
Yeah.
Just for our audience.
I've had a lot of people ask me about it.
Yeah.
But anybody that knows me should know how I'd respond.
Well, you got a lot of these doomsdayers who are for net neutrality saying, oh, you're going to have to pay for your porn now.
No, shut the fuck up. How long did we have the internet before net neutrality?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it seemed fine to me.
Right.
Yeah. Just saying.
Pound a fucking bag of salt.
Yeah.
Dr. Doug sent us a picture of a guy smiling. He's the postman to a lady who was not smiling, I believe, or perhaps she was smiling. I don't fucking know. But it was due to mail neutrality, you will no longer get your 2-day shipping.
Yeah.
It will be mailed in the next 2 months.
Yeah. So
Government regulation.
Now, in theory, if net neutrality is over with, couldn't we, in theory, be able to pay for much faster internet?
Yeah.
Than other people if we wanted it?
What caused, wasn't there some sort of bill that was passed that affected Ohio's internet providers to where there couldn't be any competition for any number of years? And that's why you don't have like a lot of startup different companies. You basically got Time Warner Cable.
Well, Time Warner, or you have others. There's like Frontier and stuff like that.
Right, but they're not broadband. You've only got one cable provider.
Yeah.
As far as I know.
So
you've got, and then in bigger cities, you've got like fiber.
It's the government, you know, enforcing
monopoly,
more or less.
So government regulation worked out well there.
Yeah. So there wasn't any competition.
They need to get rid of that shit too. I remember having fiber when I lived in Fairfield with the Woodsman, and that shit was
made me drink this road soda really quick.
On fleek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's almost gone.
How you feeling?
Pretty good.
So what's happening with net neutrality now? Did they?
Well, they're thinking to get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
And depending on what community you go to on the internet to see how people feel about it, and it's weird. It's kind of a mix sometimes too. The Tumblr crowd for net neutrality.
Oh, the Hufflepuff.
They hear neutrality, so they.
Yeah.
I think
it's a buzzword.
They think, neutrality, like equality,
yeah, equal,
like equity, right?
Yeah.
So we should have that. The government should be enforcing that.
Suck a dick.
Because I think it just triggers them. Well, it triggers them in their special way, not in a bad way necessarily.
Right.
But they hear neutrality.
Triggers their special trigger button.
Yeah.
I watched a fucking video the other day that triggered me in the bad way.
Oh, yeah? What happened?
It was a guy arguing with some speaker, right? And the guy was arguing for his position as a libertarian socialist.
Okay. He was arguing for his position as a libertarian socialist.
Yeah. So, to me, those things don't coexist.
They can't.
He was arguing that the guy speaking was like, okay, so you're a libertarian socialist. Does that mean that you feel you have the right to tell me how to live my life? And he was like, no, I don't have the right to tell you how to live your life. So is it bad that I have 4 houses and 5 yachts? Is that bad? And he was like, yeah, it's bad. It's gross. And I think that if there are homeless people that come and take one of the ones you're not using, they should be allowed to have it. And he's like,
that's not how it works.
It's not how it works, guy.
See, this is where your whole libertarian ideology
He's
goes
like,
into
so
play.
you don't believe in personal property, basically. And he's like, not if you're being wasteful. He's like, oh, thank you for telling me how to live my fucking life, jackass. Go fucking kill yourself.
Eat a bag of dicks.
The fluoride is...
Oh, it's definitely working.
Yeah, it's working a little bit better than they expected.
Because here's the thing, like...
How are they mixing these things together?
You can't be a libertarian socialist. It's impossible.
That's, in my mind, it's like an ANCOM.
Because
Anarcho-communist. It's the same type of, like...
Exactly.
Positive, negative. You can't do it.
To me, an ANCOM is the real-life equivalent. Now, I think it can exist, but I think they go under the wrong name. I think they're more like... they're like tribalists, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think they think we should go back to, like, our primal living in mud huts, very small communities things. Like, that's, I think, what an ANCOM actually is. That's what I think in my mind, because the thing is, it's like, okay, if you don't want any government, but you also want to share the means of production with everybody equally.
There's nothing saying that you can't start your own community founded around those principles, I guess, right? But, I mean, for you to be a communist, you'd have to impose your will on other people to live that way.
Yeah, because communism... to make communism work, it requires force. And as far as I'm concerned, anarchy is against force.
Right.
Like, centralized force, governmental force.
Yeah.
There's no, like, government with laws or rules or anything like that to tell you what you can and can't do.
There's a certain aspect of anarchism that I don't agree with, and that's the NAP, is what they call it, the non-aggression principle. Mm-hmm. And they think that they should be able to, that you can physically live as an anarchist without aggression. But, see, here's my thing. You shouldn't aggress on another person, but if your life, the life of your loved ones or a community member or whatever, or your property are in danger, it's a natural law that you would aggress against the attacker.
Yeah.
You can't just throw up the peace sign.
Yeah.
What is it? The Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
You know? As they're raping your wife.
Exactly.
Hare Krishna.
Like, okay, so I think I've mentioned on a couple shows before. I'm nearly finished with it now, but I've been rereading Once the Future King, and the main argument in the whole thing is the progression from... It's the might versus right argument, right? So, okay, and mind you, this is Arthurian legend being played out. It's the Arthurian legend, but philosophically speaking, it's about... So, in the primitive time... force was applied to bend people to your will, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's how it worked.
Monarch rule,
right?
Yeah.
Well, any kind of rule, dictatorial rule, where you had force and you preyed upon the weak to make them do what you wanted them to do.
Yeah.
So King Arthur comes around and Merlin teaches him that's not right. It's not right to do that, and the whole might versus right thing. Like, so Arthur... decides to take all this might, all this force, and involved with, like, you have, what's up? How you doing?
Periscope, bitches. I'm listening. Sorry.
So,
just trying to give them a little view.
the notion is that Arthur tries to take all this might, these knights that just do what they want, right?
Yeah.
And wrangle them up and tell them to live under the chivalric code.
Chivalry.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, they can't do certain things, and they're supposed to, like, protect the weak instead of exploit them.
Yeah.
Right? And then he has that, and that's like his second step, right? And then eventually he wanted to get to the point where he creates the rule of law. The notion that there is no more might that can control everybody. There is something greater than might, and it's the law, and nothing is above it.
Natural law, or
well, let's say natural law. Like, you could say natural law in the sense that, like, everybody's equal.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Thomas Paine elements of humanity, right? We're talking about natural human rights.
Right.
And the notion that these are laws that are established that nobody can break, not even the king.
Yeah.
Can break these and enforce these upon other people.
Creation founded. Founded upon the creation. Right?
Yeah.
Like, inalienable human rights.
Exactly, yeah. So, and that's where the story is leading, and here's the problem, of course, like, and that's the thing, I'm in that realm where I like the rule of law, right? But even the writer, T.H. White, isn't afraid of trying to poke holes in it, because, like, once Arthur establishes this whole rule of law, this whole justice above everything else, he falls right into the trap of getting caught up in it himself.
Mm.
And he has to abide by it. He is the one who created it. He can't just try, because he's like, I'm the king. In theory, he could have done that. I'm the king, and I'm not going to abide by this rule.
Hypocrite.
Exactly. He didn't want to be a hypocrite.
Yeah. So
he let it go. And then it had to do with the whole Lancelot Guinevere thing.
Yeah.
Like, if he was, the whole, I have might, and I bend it to my will, he could have been like, because he loved both Guinevere and Lancelot. He adored both of them. He didn't want to see that either of them get hurt. Yeah. He could have very well just been like, all right, you guys let them go. They're fine. Don't fuck with them.
Yeah.
But he didn't, because he knew. And that's the problem is that, you have to, like, if you put the law above yourself, you have to submit to its machinations, basically, and understand that people will manipulate it in their favor, because that's the problem is that it gets manipulated against him.
Brother Rapp has traveled down a rabbit hole that I've had on the back burner that I need to go down myself.
What's that?
Hermetic principles and natural law.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. I need to read more and get more into it, but I would like to know what it was that allowed us to go past what we became to what we've become. Why can't we just have a society that works on natural law instead of all this other? Let's say there was over 1 million laws, and ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Okay, keep going. I'll leave my notes to the end because let me keep these mental notes in my head.
So just one of the things we harp on all the time is the drug war.
Okay.
It's a natural law that as long as you don't hurt another person, you've not done anything wrong.
Yeah.
A crime requires an injured party. So how many laws would you say, out of the 1 million plus that we have, actually involve an injured party?
Very few.
So why not just scale it the fuck back?
Well, all laws should be based around consent, right?
Right.
And I've tried to preach this to people, is that, here's the thing, like, at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, if a law does not infringe upon from one's consent to another, then it should not exist.
Right. It's an unjust law, which you have a duty to break, according to Martin Luther King Jr.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, between you, me, and every other human being that lives on this planet.
Even our Jew lawyer over there.
Yeah. We're talking about you, Moilostein.
Oh, God.
Okay, so anyways, between you, me, and every single other human being on this planet, we all have this inalienable right of consent, right?
Mm.
Okay. So whether you decide to drink that road soda, you have made in your mind, you have paid for that road soda.
Right.
So in paying that's contract between you and the company that makes that road soda that says that they could say drink it responsibly.
Right.
Right.
They have to.
You don't have. Well, here's the thing: you don't have to.
No, they have to avoid them being open up to civil litigation.
Well, see, that's the problem, though.
Right.
Like, it's not like they forced the road soda upon you.
Yeah.
You wanted that road soda.
Trust me, I've been here before.
So you bought it.
Yeah.
Okay? So in buying it, you've already, in essence, agreed to the non-negotiable contract that you're going to drink it responsibly.
Yes.
Okay? It's the same thing with cigarettes. We know cigarettes cause cancer. The government even made them put a warning on the box that says, quitting smoking now greatly reduces serious risk to your health. And other messages like that.
I like the ones, it's like they have a certain percentage by law that they have to tell you it'll kill you, and the other ones are just kind of vague.
Yeah. I mean,
you know?
Here's the thing, like, should by law a cigarette company put that message on their cigarettes? I mean, you're told from an early age that cigarettes are bad for you. Smoking is bad for you. Tobacco is bad for you.
Now, but what about the ones before? Like my great uncle, he grew up in coal country. He had terrible asthma, right? You know what the doctor prescribed him?
Cigarettes.
Menthol cigarettes.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the question. Is this whole thing, the Surgeon General's warning that comes on everything that is tobacco, is that penitence for the years of misuse that they had?
I don't know. I think everything just at some point went into CYA.
Okay.
I don't know when. I don't know what the catalyst was, but I feel like they wouldn't put it on there if they didn't have to.
Yeah.
And it's different now because I feel like we've gone enough through human knowledge and experience to know that no doctor in his right goddamn mind is going to tell a child to smoke a cigarette.
But, okay, so you were talking about inalienable rights and hermetic law, right? Okay, and this is my footnote I wanted to place in there for you.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of the strife and trouble we have now has to do with vendettas, grudges, and revenge and vengeance from time of old, right? It all comes from it. Not all, but most of it comes from that.
Blood feud.
Exactly. And you know what fucking crazy is I could go back to the Once and Future King on this. Because they talk about how revenge, vengeance, and blood feud affect the future and affect everything else. Like, I would suggest you read. I think you should read it.
I want to. I'm waiting on my next Audible credit to hit the bank.
Oh, and then
It'll be December 7th.
You're going to start reading it, and you're going to get into it, and you're going to be like, "Holy shit, this dude is onto something." Because I mean, he is definitively anti-war and anti-violence, right?
Yeah.
The writer is, and he compels you logically with his argument against it. Because he says that, like, in all reality, all wars, all conflict and violence was over nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Right.
When you break it down to it, it's all blood feuds, revenge, and vengeance. And what are those at the end of the day? If you're somebody who, if you're an American, and you believe in the Constitution, and you believe all these things, by default, technically every American should. Mm-hmm. Because you live here, you enjoy those rights, right? So in that essence, you should not believe in blood feuds, vengeance, or anything of that sort, because those don't apply in the rule of law.
I think it was crafted around the idea, though, too, that they had duels. You know? There were a lot less pissed off people back then.
Well, yeah.
Because they handled their shit.
Well, see, that's the thing, like, but here's the thing, though, and I hate going back to this again, but even Arthur admits that duels and fighting to end disputes is fucked, because he said that necessarily will never bring justice, because he talked about combat by or trial by combat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing, like twice in the book, before everything goes to shit, Guinevere and Lancelot get accused of sleeping together, and both times it goes to trial by combat, and each time Lancelot is Guinevere's champion. He's the best knight in the world. Mm-hmm. We all know as readers, and the whole court knows that this is going on. But
Smash.
because Lancelot's might is so great, he wins. It defaults justice.
If this story was happening today, do you think he would have been brought up and fired from like NBC or somewhere for sexual harassment?
Maybe. Guinevere saying that it was sexual harassment or something like
right,
that.
She identifies as a fucking toaster. She doesn't want his sexual advances anymore.
Attack helicopter.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Man.
No, I mean, it's okay, but that's the problem, though, is once again, you're going to might to dispute right.
Right.
That's the thing.
Well, I kind of see, like, a difference, at least in my mind. I haven't read it yet, obviously, but just the idea of trial by combat is kind of different than a guy that let's say you found somebody fucking your daughter, raping her, right?
Yeah.
Call them out in front of the town.
Well, see, and that's the thing. Like, okay, so here's the thing. You call him out in front of the town. This dude's the best fighter in the town, right? This is under the guise, and trial by combat and all these things are built under the guise that no matter what, God will change the outcome of the fight because you're in the... Like, say it's your daughter. She gets raped. She got raped by the strongest fighter in the town.
Who then was summarily hit in the back of the head with a shovel by her father.
Well, then you say, I challenge you, sir, because you raped my daughter, and I challenge you to a fight. And if you lose, you are guilty, right? Okay, here's the problem.
Just kill him.
This is built under the guise that there is a God that will affect the outcome in your favor because you're right. But the problem is, in my opinion, we don't live in a world where we have a God that will take sides on either side.
Was it Taoist? We're more like an expensive watch that he admires from time to time, but doesn't concern himself with the inner machinations of it.
Exactly. He doesn't. He's in all reality. He's in my opinion. I don't even say he's impartial. He's indifferent. Okay, the inner machinations of what we do. See, and that's the thing. So justice, law, and vengeance, and all those things fall under our control.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I don't know. I just think that. Hopefully we'll live through the time where they do, in fact, charge the public psyche with enough belief that Kim Jong-un is going to fire a fucking, EMP up into the atmosphere. It's going to fry everything. And they think that through that chaos, they'll control it. But hopefully, when that happens, we will bond just like 9/12/01.
Yeah.
We all came together. Fuck race. Fuck political affiliation. America.
Yeah.
And we come together. And we form our tight-knit communities, much like Jericho. And when the government comes back in and tries to, do their shit, we're just like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a dick over there in that cornfield. Yeah. Go find it. And then just sit on it, motherfucker.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from on that. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, in smaller groups, I think we're more easily able to control ourselves.
There's some theory that humans, if you go with the standard evolution theory, that we only evolved at a certain point to, whatever the name of the rule is, but your brain can only remember so many names. Mm-hmm. And it goes by the idea of like a tribal society where once you get outside of that amount or that number, you start to see people like jerking off on subways and shitting in the streets.
Yeah.
People start acting fucking crazy because they're like, there's so many goddamn people, I just gotta take a shit in the street.
The only argument I have to that, and it's weird that gets brought up when it comes to closed off communities and stuff like that, and not having a higher justice to be dispensed in case, is for and I was just looking all this stuff up the other day. It's weird that it gets brought up, is the Salem witch trials. A closed off community that, when left alone and with no higher authority to tell them they're fucking up until it was too late. Yeah. Okay, because it didn't get brought to anybody's attention until it was too late for the governor to step in and be like, no. Stop what you're fucking doing.
I would have been burned.
Killing innocent people.
I would have been burned at the stake, and so would you last week, because we use medicinal herbs to cure our cold.
Exactly.
I like, however, the Netflix Salem version of Salem.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh my god, you gotta watch it.
So now
Jesus Christ. Basically, there's a coven of witches in Salem.
Okay, so it goes into the guys that, like, all their justification for killing people was founded.
Well, here's the thing. The witches were, like, in positions of power. They were, like, local politician, one of them. One of them was, like, the baroness of the city. And they fucking basically were, like, going to the people they didn't like, and they were like, witch!
Oh, okay.
They were killing innocent people.
Okay, so they gaslit everybody. And they created signal fires to be like, no, the witches are over here.
Right. In the meantime, they've got a fucking massive dark spell going on to kill the entire town.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Now I gotta watch this show.
Oh, dude, it's so good. They even send in a guy, I can't remember his name, you'd know him historically if I mentioned his name, but he's a character in this, and he comes in from outside.
Cotton Mather. Is it Cotton Mather?
Cotton Mather's in it, but that's not the one I'm talking about. He's like a doctor, and he's gone to all these plague villages and helped all these people, and he's come to Salem, and he's trying to find the root of this disease. Well, he finds out it's black magic. Well, he ends up fucking one of the witches, and they turn him.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay, so, and I've always loved to, like, not to segue, but I've always been interested in, like, I think we watched, me and toe beans were watching The Crucible one time, the one with Daniel Day-Lewis and Winona Ryder, and you know The Crucible. It's the Arthur Miller play about the Salem witch trials, and it was an allegory for the Red Scare.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Which wasn't unfounded. Anyways.
Yeah, they're in control of everything.
Yeah. Okay, so anyways.
But anyway, it's happening now.
Anyways. So, no, but we were sitting there watching it, and I was like, what if? I was like, what if they were right? I was like, what if, like, they killed all those people, but it wasn't unfounded, and they were right?
Yeah.
I was like, what if witches are real? I was like, and that applies to every other time in history where peasants or like town folk got together and found somebody and they're like, he's the werewolf, he's the vampire.
Right.
Kill him!
And he was the biggest opposition toward the actual threat.
As I say,
They just went against the...
And what if this was all some large, grand, supernatural conspiracy to make all these different supernatural beings seem like they were fake?
Right.
That they weren't real, and that every time that we found them out, we killed them, but then they spun it and said, no, you were killing innocent people.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just like, my big theory about that is okay, think about it like this. Okay, in Eastern Europe, they uncover, like, you know, old cemeteries and stuff like that, and they open these caskets, and they find these big iron metal bars staked right through the middle of the body. Mm-hmm. Or their heads are cut off, or like garlic stuffed in their mouth, right?
Yeah.
Or there's nets over them, the casket's full of seeds. Okay, you're telling me that people would systematically dig up corpses, stake them, and then rebury them, all because of superstition. So it was completely unfounded. None of it was real, and they just did it because they were all stupid, superstitious peasants. Mm. That's what you're telling me.
Right. No.
I call bullshit.
Horse shit.
Okay, so with the whole Salem witch trial thing, I was reading into, like, basically the Salem witch trials happened like 30 or 40 years after there was witch hunts all over Europe, right?
Yeah.
We were just behind the times. And it all came from this guy, what was his name? I can't remember his name, but he wrote this book called The Malus Maleficarum. It means Hammer of the Witch, or Witch Hammer, or something like that.
Yeah, I've got that book.
Okay, so this guy wrote this book about how to find witches and what witches are and everything about them.
Right.
He had a in the actual, book. He has a papal bull from the Pope saying, "Hunt witches down," and it happened all over Europe. I mean, thousands and thousands of people lost their lives because of this book, basically. So the ultimate question is: was it mass hysteria, or was there some founding in it? Because there's some fishy stories that came out of all this. Like the whole notion that had to do with, in England, when they were going through their thing, you had, I think it was James I. He read the Malus Maleficarum, and he had an occurrence with a witch who told him something that no one should have known. It had to do with a conversation he had with his wife in his bedchamber. And that's what convinced him that witches were real. So, you have two explanations for that. One, someone overheard the conversation and it got passed around like fucking wildfire gossip. Or two, the bitch was a witch.
Right.
So, that's the two options you have laid before thee. Which one are you going to pick? I don't know. For me, it's just a theory.
Listen.
I don't buy it part and parcel. I don't buy it wholesale.
Let me see if I can
just saying.
Let me see if I can change your opinion based on your own personal experience.
Okay.
And then I got a quick story.
Okay.
So we've both gone to the Quaker Church, Pioneer Church. Which Pioneer?
It's Pioneer Church.
Pioneer Church. On what road is it?
It's either Painted Feather or Imhoff Road.
Okay, which is strange.
Yeah.
But it's outside of Oxford. You could find it on Google. I recommend everyone break the law and go there at night, and just see what we're talking about. No bullshit. There's no bullshit involved in any of this. We've both been there multiple times.
Yeah.
And we've both been fucked up both times. Multiple times, rather, that we've been there.
I've taken people on adventures there before.
Yes. By this or that. Now tell me that there ain't some shit like that going on.
Okay, here's the thing. Like, to me, yes, that shit is some shit. So, like...
if witches, in the old sense, worship that deity that causes whatever we went through at that place, and we experienced that at that place due to Satanist magic...
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and just a side note, anybody out there, There's a movie out there that came out a year and a half, 2 years ago called The Witch. The Vitch. Double VITCH.
Yeah.
Like in the old Middle English or Middle Germanic, however you want to say it.
Yes.
It's about a family who go off to live in the wilderness of North America and are harassed by a witch. And it's basically the as I was watching it, I realized what it was. I was like, this is like if everything you'd heard about witches was true. I was like, this is like the worst case scenario, that they kill babies to keep them young. They have fucking goddamn naked orgy seances in the woods with Lucifer himself.
Yeah.
And they fucking prey upon the innocent. I'm just saying, if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's actually a really good movie. I think we segued into witches way too much there. Or, there's the other option. And this is the normal, as if this is the only plane of existence and it's all in our heads, is that it's just rampant misogyny.
I don't know.
I mean, here's the thing. I saw something, it was right around Halloween, actually, that said that all the stereotypes we have about witches, like how they're dressed and how they look, come from beer brewing, right? Mm-hmm. So the notion is that, so we all think of witches, they have these long pointy hats, they have cats with them, they carry brooms, all that shit, right? Yeah. They're around kettles. Okay. So the story that I saw something on is that all those things about witches come from the fact that before brewing became a big business, it was mostly seen as women's work to brew beer, yeah. Right? Like in the home or even on a larger scale, it was still seen as women's work. And women selling beer on the street with barrels on their backs, they would walk around with big tall hats on so that people could see them. They knew there's the beer woman. There's the beer wench.
Right.
I need some beer. So I could see them in a crowd, right?
Yeah.
And they also had cats in their breweries to keep, because they had lots of grain, they had to keep the rodents and the mice away to keep the beer clean.
They weren't like that beer that we drank. What was it called? They found out the most popular taste was because of the rotting meat. And
oh, that's Guinness.
Oh, yeah, Guinness.
Okay. So they keep cats around to keep the mice away.
Yeah.
Okay. The symbol for a brew house that they used to own was a broomstick. Right. See where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then, they see witches around kettles. What's the first process in brewing beer?
You gotta boil it.
You gotta boil that grain.
Them hops, though.
You gotta boil it all.
Well, it goes with my Salem reference, but they just took an iconic symbol or several iconic symbols and blasted it on people they didn't like, when really the real witches were the ones in control. Well,
see, and that's the thing.
Of the witch hunt.
Do you know why all those symbols of female brewers became symbols of witches?
Why?
Because apparently, this is according to the article, men started to see that brewing was a lucrative industry that could make them money. They wanted in, so they started demonizing female brewers, so people would stop buying their brews and start buying their brews instead.
Right.
Right?
I like it.
Does that kind of make sense, though?
Yeah, well, okay. I never go with, like,
imagine you're Joe Schmo, right? You're like a fucking, I don't know, you're a cooper, which means you make barrels, right? No offense to the coopers who might listen to the show.
Yeah.
We know coopers.
Right.
Not actual barrel makers, but people named Cooper.
Polish.
That's where your name comes from.
Yeah.
The more you know.
History lesson, yeah.
So, imagine you're just a barrel maker, and you're making shit for money, right?
Yeah.
And you see this la-di-da woman wearing these fancy clothes,
stupid hat,
making shitloads of money, making beer. And you're like, you know what? I can make beer.
Yeah, fuck you and your cat.
So then you start making this beer. And you know what? Your beer, since you're a novice, isn't as good as their beer.
Right.
What are you going to do to stop people from buying their beer and selling your beer?
Hypothetically, you shit in their punch bowl.
You tell people, listen, you know why their beer tastes good?
Satan.
Satan.
Yeah.
They implored Lucifer himself to brew that magic for them.
Check her body for a third nipple, which she uses to milk blood into her goddamn familiar pet.
Every time you sip upon her beverage, you are fucking being pulled closer into the fucking gates of hell itself.
Savage.
So I know my beer doesn't taste as good, and it doesn't get you as drunk as theirs does, and it's not as cheap as theirs is, but at least it doesn't send you to hell.
They're the old school version of William Randolph Hearst that put all that fucking propaganda into the mainstream about
Right?
marijuana being the devil.
See, and here's the thing, like...
Only to save his own profits because he didn't want to switch over to using hemp instead of paper.
And you think about it, if that's true, in a more perfect world, think about it. We wouldn't have to go to the store to get road sodas. We would come home and there would be a fresh batch of beer waiting for you.
Satan would have it ready in your refrigerator.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it'd be delicious. And you'd have a cat to take care of the mice. You know, and your house would always be clean because they got a broom.
Goddamn right.
And those hats are stylish.
Well,
For real.
like I said, man, it's all a PR campaign to turn the tide against the people that aren't actually involved. The real Satanists in this world are the ones like, what's the guy's name that runs Amazon? Is it Bezos?
Jeff Bezos?
Yeah, there's an article about him paying, I forget how much, a ridiculous amount of money for teenager blood that he has injected. Yeah.
Weird, huh?
You know, the whole Luciferian idea that, if you want to take the Christian view of Lucifer, as being the one that comes in and changes all of God's creation because he can make it better.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is to shit in the punch bowl.
Yeah.
To fuck up everything. I mean, change the genetics. We just had our first CRISPR patient. Did you see that?
Yeah.
They just injected edited DNA by the billions intravenously to a guy that had Hunter's syndrome.
Well, you know that people have been doing that on their own for a while now, right?
Exactly.
Like, they've been, like, bootleg making fucking gene-altering drugs and injecting themselves with it.
Hashtag the market.
Yeah, I saw a video for that. Guy's trying to make himself stronger, so he's injecting him up with genes to make him stronger. He's a normal person. He doesn't need it, in all reality. But he wants to be stronger.
Yeah.
It's called steroids.
Right.
Everybody.
It's easy.
Just do it.
Right.
Like, I know there's a bad rap for steroids in all reality, but I mean, and the reason it has is because of athletics. But if you're not competing in any kind of games or anything, I don't see a problem with it.
Well, tell that to the government.
Choice. That's the problem, though.
Right.
Is that, like, if somebody's not, like, because I could see it in a competitive sense, in the sports sense.
Right. Well, they should just open an NSL and be done with it. National Steroid League.
I've heard that for years.
I'm saying.
I mean, that shit would probably be off the chain.
I'd watch it. I don't even watch sports.
I mean, you imagine, like, fucking boxing.
Yeah, it'd be off the fucking chain.
Dudes would be getting their fucking skulls cracked open and shit.
They use so many fear tactics with steroids, and it's funny because the Podfather himself, I think, said it the best. Joe Rogan, when he was talking about taking steroids, because he does legally.
Yeah.
Which we could all probably do now because we're over 30.
Yeah.
But they were like, "Aren't you worried about A, B, or C, heart problems or whatever whatever the fear porn was?" And he was like, "Listen, Sylvester Stallone is my canary in the coal mine. That motherfucker's in his 70s.
Yeah, and he's just fine. Look at him.
Yeah, look at him.
He's got probably less than 2% body fat. He's fucking.
He's still got a fucking rock hard stallion too.
You think Arnold Schwarzenegger does it still too?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Look at him. He still looks good.
Everybody should check out the Tim Ferriss interview with him.
I'm sure there's definitely like
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
There is definitely like a happy median when it comes to steroid use, because you see some dudes just go out of control.
Well, a lot of these cats, it's all personal choice. Some of these dudes want to be as big as a fucking house.
But then they fucking end up with fucking...
Well, it's like
their heart just gives out on
them. It's basically like you taking the pharmaceutical industry into your own pocket, and you're going to do it a way that you wouldn't be prescribed to do it if a doctor told you how,
Like, if you look at like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, who've been doing it well into their older age, they're fine. Because I think they found the happy medium.
Cycle.
Yeah. That, and like, they don't need fucking goddamn gigantic biceps the size of fucking 6 baby heads.
Not anymore. Right.
Not anymore. I mean, I don't even think that either of them ever had biceps as big as baby heads.
Arnold did, man. He was fucking huge.
Okay, yeah. You talk about like Conan the Destroyer, Conan the Barbarian, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That dude's a real interesting cat.
Yeah.
You should check out that interview if you get a chance. Tim Ferriss interviewed him.
Is it a good time?
I had no idea he was a millionaire before he started making movies.
Oh, yeah, dude.
But it's a European fucking... what was it? European construction business.
I think we talked about this on the show. Him and Lou Ferrigno, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When they fucking strong-arm people.
Right. They would scream at each other in 2 different languages.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Could that be I don't think we need an edit sound, but can that be the edit sound?
Maybe.
There we go. I don't think we need one, because I don't think I don't think we said anything too, like, nefarious on the show today. That's the thing.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Good boy.
There you go.
Yeah.
But
I always thought it'd be funny, you know, the Factory of Sadness.
mhm.
You got that young, impressionable crowd, the young, impressionable crowd that worked the second shift.
Yeah.
I always thought it'd be funny if I started doing steroids and then, like, I baked, like, gingerbread dog treats and I brought them in a dog treat box and they saw me eating them. And they'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? But how do you think I got this big?
Yeah.
How many of those motherfuckers would run straight to Kroger and buy, like, Milk Bone? You just see them throwing up Milk Bone in the hallway.
Fucking smashing milk buns.
Getting fat as fuck.
Fucking putting fucking hot sauce on them. Makes it taste better, bro.
Oh, man. My reps, though.
Yeah, these things kind of taste funny,
It's
man.
like dog treats, bitch. I'll do that one day.
You think you can get this big not eating sausages?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
The Factory of Sadness will just send you for a regular urinalysis. Like, that's going to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Look at this.
Those guys in the...
Pure Alpo, motherfucker.
Yeah, those guys in the sports industry have been taking Olympic piss tests and passing. Like,
See, you
what's
take
your-
it to the next level of trolling. They see you eating the dog biscuits and they're like, fuck. Then you get even bigger. One day you bring in like a thing of Dinty Moore beef stew.
Yeah.
But you've changed the label with a can
Alpo.
of Alpo.
Yeah.
You're fucking sitting there munching on a fucking can of Dinty
Well, it's like,
Moore.
we just had that in service, and I was eating sardines.
Yeah.
And it's like mirrors a Little Caesars cane almost.
Mm-hmm.
I should just do that next time. Like,
Yeah.
that motherfucker was up there eating dog food.
He's fucking cut.
He's cut as fuck.
So you got motherfuckers with dog food breath walking all over the
That
place.
stuff's really cheap, too. I got 100 cans for $50 at Aldi's.
Taking pictures on Instagram, fucking with a can of fucking Alpo in their hand, munching on it. So good.
Your breath tastes like a horse's asshole.
It's like fucking it says fucking like they fucking put out Instagram hashtag pre-workout meal.
Yeah. Man, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I got a lottery ticket sitting on the chair at home, so when I win the lottery, I'm going to come in jacked on steroids and just wait for him to fire me.
What's up, guys?
Everybody on second shift's already calling off sick because they're throwing up dog food.
We got fucking fucking out right. You gotta cut that out.
I do, I will.
We got 4 workers out right now.
Yeah.
Fucking sick as fuck because they ate too much Alpo.
Yeah.
Fucking munching kibbles and bits.
Stupid motherfuckers. You could start like a YouTube channel based on like advice. Just that's what they need to do. Some of these Instagram guys that have like these 50,000 followers that are like, you know, life coaches, and they post all this fucking silly inspirational shit and pictures of them in wife beaters in front of a fucking car they rented. And they just need to go through their fucking workout routine and throw in some fucking dog food into a blender. How many people would go out? Alpo stock would raise overnight.
They're not trolling at the right levels. That's the problem.
Hire me as your manager, and we will take the trolling to the
Zach,
next
here,
level.
I want you to take this can. You see this? Yeah, it's Fancy Feast. I know.
Right.
That's cat food. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Here, you take that can. You put the fork in it. Raise a little bit of the morsel onto the fork, and then take a picture. You don't have to eat any of it. Just breathe through your mouth so you don't have to smell it.
Right.
Because it smells terrible.
Pound it down.
And let me take this picture. Okay, I'm going to write in here, pre-workout, meal, hashtag get swole, hashtag the only way, hashtag
swole mates.
Yeah. And then send that shit on Instagram. And how many motherfuckers are going to eat Fancy Feast after that?
A lot of those cats are at Kroger checking their Instagram, and they're like, I'm going down the dog food aisle.
I mean, look, it says on here, dude, it's like 71% protein.
Look at his fucking pecs, though.
You know, I mean, it's the rest is just filler. It's just ashes, for fuck's sake, and horse meat. Like, we get some of that.
Just mix it up with some shitty cereal, too, and buy. Goddamn. I need to win the lottery.
Oh, man.
So I can just go all the way troll.
Take it all the way to the next level of trolldom.
Take it to the dome.
Yeah, right there. Well, I think it's about time for us to wrap up.
Well, in that case, shortly after this podcast is uploaded, we're going to have a video on either GoFundMe or Kickstarter, or maybe both.
Yeah.
Daddy needs a new laptop.
And we're going to get him a new laptop.
Because Daddy needs to make better videos.
Yeah.
More consistently.
Yeah.
So, if you're feeling extra generous, throw a shekel on there.
Yeah.
Share the video.
A shekel or two.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, well, we'd like to thank you all for listening to the show. We'd like to thank Ryan Simpson for letting us use his music. We'd like to thank you all for checking out our Instagram, our Facebook, our website, all those things.
We'd like to thank Mother for that yard glass.
Yeah, exactly. It made me drink a beer, road soda really fast.
Yeah.
Like to, say all you, thanks for listening, and, give us a topic if you want us to talk about something.
We're going to have to do a topic show. We might have to record 2 next week.
Yeah.
If we can, because I'm going to be gone the week of the 12th and the 13th.
Okay.
So
we could do that.
We get a topic show recorded, maybe like a regular show. We'll have one in the pipe.
And then working on maybe doing a Christmas show at the end of December.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holiday special.
Come on.
With all the fans on.
Love all you motherfuckers.
All right. And we'll see you guys next time, all right?
We love the shit out of you.
We really fucking do.
Bitch.
It begins with a virus, and life ends as we know it. Perfect in every sense. I know I'll never forget it. Though I breathe the toxic air, I won't let it consume me. Burning skin become my face. Oh well, it doesn't concern me. I have no reason to stay. No spirit to guide my way. No blessed thing to lead me astray. I'm free of shackles today. How it ends, I just can't tell. Though I want so much to know, but I'll be fine forevermore. Wherever I must go, I have no reason to stay. No spirit to guide my way. No blessed thing to lead me astray. I'm free of shackles today. And there's nothing left for you and I to prove. And there's nothing we can say or do. And as the sky fades to black from blue, I'm so happy I just can't believe it's true. It's fine.